Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how you can create your own version of Clubhouse using Huddle01 SDKs. So yeah, let's get started. So before explaining code, I will show you how the actual app will look like. So this is the sample app which I have built for this video. So yeah, here this is the main page where you can see your species, where like whatever species you have created from your wallet will be shown here. And in live spaces, this will be like the common area where all of the live spaces will be shown. So right now there is no live spaces, that's why it's empty. But if I start any space, it will show a live inside this section. So yeah, first of all, let us just create a new space. So here I will click on create spaces, and yeah, here you have to fill up the basic information to create a space. So let's quickly do one. Let's say I want to create an audio space for taco community. I'll just write taco community call. Then from here we can select the start time. So even we want to schedule the space to, let's say, after 2 days, we can do that, but right now I'll just select the current time. Then here if you want, you can also token gate it with multiple tokens. Let's say like you want to token gate it with ERC20, or like the regular standard of NFT like ERC721 or ERC1.55, you can do that. And also like you can select the chains from here. So right now I've just shown here 3 chains, but you can do it with more chains as well. Then once you select the chain, you enter the contract, you paste the contract address here and just click on create space, and the space will be created. So right now I don't token gate it, I will simply create a normal space. So I'll just click here on the create spaces, and in the backend this will basically call the create room API of Huddle01, and it will generate a room ID, and that room ID will be stored inside a smart contract. So here you can see the spaces is created successfully. So here we just refresh the page once, and yeah, that will be done. So yeah, see here you can see like Tracker community call space which we have recently created. So this all your spaces data is actually stored inside a smart contract. So this is like the smart contract, which is pretty simple. Like here I've just written 2 functions. One is for schedule meeting, one is for get user meetings, and I map all of the meetings with the user's wallet address. So yeah, inside a get user meetings, I'll just pass the address and it will return all of the user meetings. So that's about smart contract part. And yeah, so let's quickly join one of the space from here, right? So I will just join the recently created space, that is Taco community call. So once I click here, it will ask me to sign a message because it generates an access token from that. So let's say like if you have created a token gated space, then it will like get an access token from my wallet. It will generate one access token, and using that I can join the login. So right now this is a simple space. So even it won't require, if I even if I reject the message, that signing message, I can join the login. So right now I will simply select any avatar, and let's quickly join the space. So I'll just write my name. Okay, so right now here, if you see, like when I join, automatically I'm assigned as a host. So this is the by default nature of our SDKs, that whoever joins first in the room will be assigned as a host by default. So let me try to join it from multiple tabs, right? So let me just duplicate it, and here also like just sign a transaction, and I will just select a different avatar and let me join. Yeah, so let's give the name test1. Similarly, I can join as other roles as well. So right now I just joined from 2 tabs, and even if I go to the home page, here you can see that inside a live spaces we have one space, that is taco community call, and this will be common for all. So even if I disconnect my wallet, let's say I disconnect my wallet, then also the your spaces will be disabled, because of course I haven't connected my wallet, but the live spaces is there, right? So this live spaces is a common for everyone. So like these were like anyone who wants to join the live spaces, they can open and join the call. So this is what like we are going to build in this workshop. And yeah, here also like in the spaces you can do pretty much everything which you can do in a normal audio space. Let's say you want to react, you will just click here and click on any of the emoji. Let's say you have reacted, so that reaction will be appeared to everyone. then let's say you want to raise your hand, then you can do that. And yeah, like even if you can invite the listener as a speaker. So let's say you want to make this listener as a speaker, I'll just make an invitation here. So let's say I make this person as a speaker, then if I click that, here you can say this person is now a speaker. So here also, like in audio space, we have multiple roles. So like first is a host, then you can make co-host, then speaker and listener. So host have full control, co-host have a control to make someone else as a speaker, and speaker have a role to speak basically, and listener is just like to listen and they can react. So that's about the basic functionality of the audio space. So yeah, let's now go through the code, like how it is built. So first of all, let me show you the index page. So here we have used this live meetings API which Huddle01 provides. So it's always also like recommended that whenever you call any API, you call it from server side, not from client side, because always like if you call the API from client side, there is a risk that your API key may get exposed, right? So it's always like recommended that you call it from server side. So here I'm using Next.js, so I've simply used get server side props. So yeah, here I will call this API, and yeah, it will just return the list of live meetings, and I map it with the front end, and it live meetings will be shown. Similarly for your spaces section, I just read through the smart contract, and yeah, the contract read function, and yeah, from that I will get all of the meetings which I have created from my wallet address, and I will show it to the front end. We can also look at the create page code. So here the important code is this one, like where I call the API to create a room. So here I have created one serverless API. So if you just go to this API route, so here, like as I said, it's recommended to call the API from server side. So here I have created a serverless API where I call the create room API of Huddle01, and where I simply pass the details like title, start time, and some more details such as like if I want to token get the meet, then I will just like pass the details such as what is the token type, chain, contract address, condition value, and all. So this is like how you can create your serverless API, and once you create the serverless API, you can simply call it from front end. So yeah, that's about the creation part. Yeah, so let me just show you how this works. So let me just open up our demo app. So here if you see, if I just duplicate this tab, it will first redirect to the slash the room ID, and then it redirects us to this lobby page. So here we are actually checking that so in this page here, we are actually checking first whether the room is joined or not. So here you can see we have written this use effect, and where we are checking whether the room is joined or not. And if the room is not joined, we redirect the user to the lobby, right? So this is how we handle the logic. So here we have used this hook use room from where this is room joined is coming, and we'll just use it to check whether the room is joined or not. Then inside the lobby, we'll do multiple things. So let me just first show you like what hooks are used here. So yeah, here we have used this hooks join room is room join. So to join the room, we use this join room method from use room hook. Then we first need to initialize our SDK. So yeah, that is from our user 01. Then we also need methods such as whether is lobby joined or not. Then we need join lobby method is loading. Then room ID is like just a use state which we have created to set the room ID. So let's simply see how these things are working. So first of all, as I said, like first we'll sign a transaction. So I will just return the get user access token method. So for that, first what we do is we get a message. So this get message is basically a function from the Huddle01 auth package. So for to integrate this token getting part, you need to install this additional package, that is Huddle01/auth. So yeah, it's required. So from there you will get these two methods, that is get access token and get message. So first of all, you will get a message to sign, and once you get the message, you will just sign it using Wagmi. So here I've used Wagmi, so I just used sign message from Wagmi, and it will just sign it. And on that sign message, what I do is on success of that sign message, I just like get the hash of that message, and I pass that hash inside this get access token function, and it will just return me the access token, right? So this returns the token, and from that token I get the access token. So this is how I actually get the access token. So here I've simply created one global storage of access token. So yeah, for that I have used sustain. Then yeah, once you store the access token, you can use it inside a join lobby function. So here you can see here inside the is lobby join room ID use effect. Here I will just check whether first whether is lobby joined or not. If it's not joined, first I will initialize the SDK. Then what I do is, if access token is not there, I will ask the user to get the access token. So for that I just call this function, that is get access token, user access token, and if it's done, then I will just directly call join lobby. So yeah, here it's pretty much simple. Like, you just first get the access token. Once the access token is you will just join the lobby, because see, in join lobby method we need two things. First is room ID and another is access token. So this access token is required only for token getting. So let's say you don't want to use the token getting part, you can simply just pass the room ID and it will be done. Now here inside these handle spaces, I'll just first of all check whether the display name is entered or not. If it's not entered, I'll just return the error, and or else I will just call this method join room. So yeah, that's it's pretty much simple. The code is simple. Once the room is joined, here I will just listen to this room this attribute which is getting from this use room hook. So yeah, I will just um pass this variable inside this use effect, and if the room is joined, I just push the current URL to this slash room ID, and there, like, as the room is already joined, you will see the main room page. Now let's go to the room page, like what it's done there, right? So here I will show you a few important code. So first of all, here you can see whenever, like, the peer is joined, like let's say the first user will be always host, but the another user who joins the room should be a listener, right? So by default the SDK makes the new peer as a new user as a peer role, but we want to change its role as a listener. So here I will just call this method change peer role, which changes the current peer to it listener. So it changes the role basically, right? So it requires two params, one is peer ID, one is listener. So yeah, you will use this you can use this like a change peer role method to change the role to anything, let's say co-host, speaker, or anything, right? But just make sure that you follow a proper hierarchy while using this method, because, like, see, listener can't change the role of any other user, speaker don't have any access to change the role of a listener. So here mostly, like, change peer role can be called only by host and co-host, who can change the role of uh, other persons, like let's say speaker or listener. So yeah, this is about this change peer role. And we are also, like, you can see we are listening to multiple events. So this use event listener is like you can get from our SDK, our React hooks. So here you can see, like, you can get this, import this use event listener from Huddle01 slash React slash hooks, and from here you can listen to the events. So yeah, once you listen the event, you will just do what you want. So let's say, yeah, here I just want to set the title as an empty whenever, like, someone left. So I've written that code. Then here also, like, we have written pretty much code like to, first of all, this is to change the avatar of the user. So whenever, like, someone enters the room, that avatar will be changed. So when, like, someone selects their avatar in the lobby, we store that avatar in a global storage, and then we'll get it from that, from, like here we are using Justin. So we just fetch this avatar URL from there, and we just set it whenever someone enters the room. Similarly, for the display name, like when someone enters, the display name is also changed. Then here the important event which you need to understand is this room data receipt. So if you have saw that reactions part here. So let's say if I've joined this meet, right? And if I want to send any reactions, then for that we need to actually send some data, right? It can't be done that easy. So here I will show you. To actually send data to multiple peers, there is this method called send data. I'll just show you where this is used. I'll just type it, send data. So yeah, here first let's see for request to speak, right? So here Like right now, this person is a speaker, so I just make that person as a, I will remove that person as a speaker basically. So right now, let's say I want to request to speak, right? So if I click here, it will just ask me to send a request, and here this person gets this request, and if I agree, that person is now a speaker. So how this thing is done, how I'm actually sending the data from one peer to another. So for that, I have used this send data method from use app utils hook. So this send data basically requires two things. First is the peer IDs. So here, if I want to send this data to everyone, whoever are there in the room, I will just write star. But here I just want to send this data to particular peer IDs. So first I will get the peer ID of the host or a co-host, because see, only host or co-host can actually make someone as a speaker. So that's why I want that this request should be sent to only hosts and co-hosts. So yeah, I'll just get the peer IDs of that, and here in the send data, I will use that, and in request to and in the inside of send data, like once first thing is like the peer IDs, another thing is the JSON. So here inside a JSON, I will just send this key value by like the request to speak, and I'm sending the peer ID of that current peer, right? So here I'm sending me.peer ID, because here I'm sending request from like I'm the peer and I'm sending request to the host, right? So I want to send my peer ID to the host. That's why here I have written me.me ID. So yeah, once you call this send speaker request, it will get read from the host side. So I'll just check here whether it is getting read data received. Yeah. So once I send this request, well, I will just call room data. So yeah, it will be called here inside the index space. So room data received. So here this is like the room, the main page where there is a room. So here I will listen to this event, and here actually this event returns this data from where I can check like what data is sent using this event. And yeah, here I will just first of all set the peer ID, and once the peer ID is set, I will just like use return the logic to change the peer role, right? So if the user accepts that like I want to make this person as a speaker, the role of that person is changed to speaker, and then that will be removed, right? That request will be removed. So there is the like the basic code where we are sending the request to the host to actually become a speaker. Similarly for reactions as well, if I just show you the emoji tray code here as well, it's pretty simple. Like here you can see whenever I click on any of the emoji icon, it will send that data to all of the peers inside the room. That's why I've written star here, and here inside a reaction I am sending this emoji, and yeah, this will be listened inside this greet card, right? So inside a greet card I use this room data received. I just listen to this event, and from whatever data I get, whatever emoji I get from this event, I just set that emoji to the UI. So that's how I'm sending the reactions. So that's pretty much about this. Also, like I want to show you the main logic of this grid card and grid card layout. So one is like grid card layout, which actually handles all of the individual grid cards. So here we need multiple things. See, first of all, if I just show you the UI, I will just make the some person as a listener. So yeah, here there are two sections. Okay, so first grade is for speakers who have the ability to speak, basically not speakers. So in upper part there could be a speaker, host or a co-host, and in the bottom part there will be only listeners. So here inside this grid card layout, first I run a loop of these peers. So these peers is basically a list of peers which are there inside the room. So this for that we are using this use peers hook. So yeah, from this peers object we just get all of the values from this peers array, and we just filter it out like whoever is the host, co-host or a speaker, and who have this particular role, we just show that user using this grid card. So grid card is for each particular card, and this layout is for whole cards, right? And similarly, we need to show how many listeners are there. So for listeners also, like first we want to count how many listeners, right? So here, if you see in the UI, here we are getting this count as well. So for that, I simply just run this code where I filter out like how many actual listeners are there, And yeah, here also simply I will do the same thing where I will just go through all of the peers and I check whoever is the listener, just show that in the grid card, right? So yeah, this is how the logic to show all of the peers is written. And that's pretty much about it. I already explained, right, like how you can do this as a how you can change the role. So just use that change peer role method and you can change someone's role. So yeah, that's pretty much about this. And also, like, if you want to use this code in your app, let's say you want to create your own audio spaces, you just use this. Like, we have also written a separate guide for this audio space. You can just go through our documentation and you will find that guide there. I will also show you here where you can find that guide. So yeah, from here you can get the guide. So yeah, here just click on the audio space and you will get the whole walkthrough guide, like how you can create your own audio spaces. So like this in this sample app as well, I just use that same code, but here I just tweaked it a bit. Like that sample code is using the app router. Here I have used the normal pages router just to make things easier. So yeah, you just like get this code, read the code from the sample app and create your own version of it. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what you are all building using this code. And yeah, that's it for the video. Bye.